Student loan debt in America, more than $1.2 trillion. So as a category, the only one greater than student debt is mortgage debt. Parents and taxpayers may be dismayed to learn that all that money may not be going towards studying. There's a recent survey out of college kids, and it found that 1 in 5 saying they used student loans to pay for vacations or dining out or other forms of entertainment. With me now, conservative blogger Alexis Boomer and best-selling author Larry Winget. Welcome to you both. Alexis, young people, do you know some who have used student loan money for spring break vacations or anything else?
I do. A lot of my surrounding peers actually use their loan money for things that weren't necessarily for school funding and stuff like that, which was really disheartening because there's a lot of people that are working hard for that money and a lot of people that need that money to get an education. But I don't think that we're educated properly on what we do with our money, what we do with financial aid and what it's for.
It seems like that indeed. I mean, I remember reading at least part of that report, which was like, yeah, when my check came, drinks were on me. So, Larry, are the schools at fault here? I mean, A, should the work be harder? Or B, should they somehow be monitoring what these checks are used for?
You know, I don't hold the schools responsible for this. I agree with what Alexis said, that kids should be taught better. When you realize that 40% of these student loans, nobody's making any payments on it, you can't just blame the kids because a lot of their mamas and daddies signed those notes too. And mamas and daddies should be making sure that that money goes to the school to pay for education and not for a kegger on the weekends. Parental responsibility is a big deal here.
Alexis, I like what you said, though. The shame of it is, in some way, there are some kids who drop out of school because they're either helping to send money back home or they just can't afford it and for some reason didn't get loans. So the kids who are there with loans are wasting an opportunity not just for themselves, but essentially taking the place of others.
Exactly, and I used student loans. I took advantage of the government helping me and the institution that I attended helping me as well. So to see people not necessarily, like I said, though, it's all going back to education. We have nothing. I think to go and get a student loan, you should have to go through proper educating at the school. Listen, hey, this is what you're going to be using this for. This is what it's properly used for. I don't think necessarily that plastic surgery or even, like you said, eating out or on top of that, the kegs, as he mentioned, or anything that we should be using our money for.
All right, Alexis, thank you very much. Alexis Bloomer with me there. Larry, you're with me after the break. We're going to talk about this controversy surrounding The Biggest Loser. Former contestants say the show's methods caused them to gain all of their lost weight back and some additional shocking claims as well.
I would train every single day and vomit on the set. And they said, great, you'll even lose more weight. They should show how many of these contestants have gained their weight back. They're not showing that because you know what? They've washed their hands of all responsibility of these contestants after the show. They've made billions of dollars, unfortunately destroying these people's lives. It's the biggest mistake of my life. I had a wonderful career, and basically The Biggest Loser took it all away. Biggest mistake, I should have never went on the show.
That was a former contestant on the show speaking on Fox and Friends earlier. She says trainers encouraged contestants to starve themselves, take unsafe supplements, and ignored requests for medical attention when it was needed on the set. Larry Winget back with me now. So, Larry, what's your take on these claims?
You know, I wouldn't be too quick to throw this show or the trainers or the show's doctors under the bus. Listen, you've got people who came on the show and lost a lot of weight, and they had a support system there, and they had all these people there to make sure that they ate right and did the right things and exercised, and then they go home and they gain all the weight back, and they need somebody to blame. And the first place they're going to go to blame for the fact that they started eating more money. Listen, it was their responsibility to keep the weight off, and they want to blame the show for the fact that they gained the weight back. Listen, what makes you gain weight is you eat too much and you don't exercise enough. That's it. Don't blame the show for not being there to hold your hand.
All right, Larry. I mean, some say that the trainers had them working out 7 to 8 hours a day off and on, which is obviously not possible if you have a day job. But do you think this takes away from the point of the show? There are contestants saying it was manipulated who stayed and who went, but I think that's pretty true of any reality TV show.
Listen, I had a reality TV show and things, it's TV. And listen, nobody should be surprised when they get into a show like that they're going to have to put a lot of hours in. But listen, don't leave the show and then whine and complain because you weren't able to stay on track on your diet and stick with it. You went home and now you've surrounded yourself with the same old people, the same old food, and you've fallen back into the same old habits, and you don't want to take responsibility for doing that, and now you've gained your weight back. Not the show's fault. So,
Larry, do you think the creators are going to face any consequences?
I hope not. Unless they did something really illegal, like some of the people are saying, like with the drugs and all that sort of stuff. I hope they don't. It's just a television show, and these people must take personal responsibility.
All right, Larry. Remind us again of your show.
Oh, I don't have the show anymore. It used to be a show about people who spent too much money. Again, personal responsibility.
All right, Larry. Actually, that's the one I want to see back on TV.
Me too.
All right, Larry. Thank you, as always, for the time. Appreciate it. Larry Winget joining me there. He is the author of Grow a Pair. Take a quick look at what happened in today's